Hello everyone, this is Phil from underKG.com. Today we got a BlackBerry Q10. So this is their latest BlackBerry with the keyboard equipped, and well, actually Q5 came later, but anyway, their latest model, one of the latest models. And it comes with the receiver on the top and the front face camera and the 3.1 inch of a 720 by 720 AMOLED display. And it's got a pan-tile layout. It's not your favorite display, but it's okay actually, because the screen is actually really tiny. It's barely noticeable, the pan-tile layouts. And below that is a keyboard. The BlackBerry's well-known keyboard. It has this cutted edges kind of thing, makes you comfortable to type on it. And this keyboard is as nice as it's always has been. And it doesn't go wrong with your expectation. On the right is a volume rocker with the voice command activator key on the center. On the top is a power key with a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the left is a micro HDMI port right there. Nowadays, most of the ports, most of the video outputs are integrated in the MHLs, but this guy has micro HDMI, and it's got a micro USB port right next to it, and on the bottom is a speaker, and on the back is an 8-megapixel camera with the LED flash, and it's got an autofocus, unlike their predecessor 9900 that didn't have the autofocus function. And the battery cover is detachable with the replaceable battery as well. It's got a little bit above the 2000 milliamps of the battery capacity, and it's not exactly great in the battery life, but it's okay. And the micro SIM card slot right there, and the micro SD card slot expandable up to 64 gigabytes. Along with that, the other internals include Snapdragon S4. Now they're finally using our mainstream processor, giving it a decent performances, and the 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of internal storage. Powering on, you can press on the power key on the top to look at all the notifications and the clock, or you can swipe up from the bottom of the screen. That's a gesture that's universal amongst the whole BlackBerry 10 operating system. So you're in the folder, swipe up, you're in the folder, and you're running an app, and you can swipe up from the bottom to close the app. And what just happened here is when you close an app, it doesn't kill itself. It runs in the background, and this kind of a multitasker, this kind of a task switcher kind of thing. And this is an Android app, so it doesn't show the information on it. But let's say that most of the native apps of the BlackBerry operating system, you're running on it, you close it, and give it a few seconds, and it switches into kind of a widget-likely thingy to give you some information coming from the app. The thing about the widget and the app switcher idea is, the idea itself is great, so there are 4 apps on a screen, and it can store up to 8 apps on the app switchers. And when it goes above that, it just kills the apps that came in the first. So it's first in, first out. So the thing about the widget is that you gather access to the information anytime you want, and they just like get disappeared once you stop using it after a few apps. So that's a little bit of a glitches of this great idea. And native apps themselves are okay. Actually, web browser has improved a lot. It loads up pages a lot faster than ever before. This is cached, but then the previous BlackBerries, and most of the internal builds and the apps are fine. The problem here is that that's it. It doesn't really come with many of the apps in the BlackBerry world. This is actually a lot worse than the Windows Phone that I always criticize with the lack of apps. And even most of the apps in the BlackBerry world isn't exactly a BlackBerry apps. They are actually Android ported apps, so it's highly likely that if you see an app, it's an Android app. And what you can do over here is so BlackBerry knows that they will be lacking apps, as they did. And they came with an idea. Hey, why don't we run Android apps on it? And they're doing it quite great. We're running a leaked ROM over here with the version of 10.2.1.1925. So that's the latest leaked ROM, and its Android performance actually is better than we thought. So this is a speed test app, this is an Android app, and let's say Reddit, it's an Android app, runs totally fine. And what you can do, what I just did over here is that the Android apps require buttons, and the BlackBerry itself doesn't really come with lots of buttons, except for the keyboard right here that comes with a bunch. So what Android requires is for you to have back key and the menu key. Some of the apps have the menu key on the top, but some other legacy apps do. So you can either show a back key right there, and it's gonna take up some of your space that you don't even have much. Or you can hide the bar and use gestures. So you can swipe up from the top to bring your menu key, or you can swipe it diagonally to make it work as a back key, just like that. So that's Android app for you, and it's getting updates quite constantly, and the Android performances are getting better and better. And most of the apps that I ran works like a charm without any problems. And there are a few exceptions that require a bunch of other APIs of the Android system. There are a few exceptions, but most of the apps run just fine, including lots of apps. So that's Android for you. Overall, BlackBerry Q10 performs quite well. Snapdragon S4 is still one of the good processors in the market, and the BlackBerry Hub and all of its default apps are running fine. And lack of apps is now solved with the Android apps. It's kind of annoying that you have to extract an APK file or download it elsewhere on the internet, but it's something that you can bear with. If you really want to, if you really are dating for an Android phone with the keyboard, this guy isn't an Android phone, but it works like an Android phone, so who cares? I'm really glad that I finally got a phone with the QWERTY keypad bar, candy bar, QWERTY keypad that runs Android apps. And it performs actually better than I thought. Although battery life isn't exactly so great, hopefully it's gonna get fixed in the official ROM, since this is a leaked ROM. It's still in the beta status. One last thing that I really like about the BlackBerry is that its speaker is actually quite good, and the sound quality that's coming out from that headphone jack with your headphones connected is actually really good. It's better than most of the Android phones. It's actually as good as the iPhones or the iPads. So that's one thing that I really like. So that was BlackBerry Q10. Just getting better and better. I hope they did it before they had lots of problems with their companies, but they're finally seems like they figured out what they have to do with their phone to be to sell in the market. So, well, late is better than never. So that's BlackBerry Q10 for you, and tap on there to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys later with the other reviews on the market. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.